Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. So if you want to know what is the interview process at Tech Mahindra, or if you want to know what kind of interview questions one can expect in the interview at Tech Mahindra, then this video is for you people. Tech Mahindra Interview Experience. So in this video, I'll be sharing the interview process that I have underwent at Tech Mahindra, and will be sharing the interview questions which I have encountered in the interview. I hope you people like this video and it would be helpful to few at least. So firstly, I would like to discuss about the interview process. So one day I got a call from one of the HRs from Tech Mahindra. So she said like she got my profile from one of the uh, job portals. So to be honest, I have uploaded only my profile and Naukri, and I believe she got my profile through Naukri only. So then we had a discussion about the opening, like what all technologies they are looking out for, and what is the salary range, and what is the experience range they are looking out for. So as luckily I have matched everything, so I was told that I'll be shortlisted for the interview and I'll be intimated very soon. So firstly, like I got a mail regarding the telephonic discussion. So there was one telephonic discussion, and after that, after successfully completing the telephonic discussion, I was called to the Tech Mahindra location for discussing face-to-face round, like both were technical rounds. And then there was a HR round. After completing face-to-face round, there was an HR discussion over the phone. So this was the interview process that I have followed. So coming to the telephonic discussion, it was about 45 to 1 hour discussion, 45 minutes to 1 hour discussion. And in this round, interviewer mostly concentrated on core Java. He like he asked the questions from all the concepts of Java, and he was expecting like in which scenarios I have used those concepts in my real-time interview, like in my real-time project, sorry. So if he was asking the questions on exceptions, so he was continuing the question saying like in what scenario you have used, like how you have handled exceptions in your application. And the same, like when he was asking me about the design patterns, so he was asking me the continuation question like in which scenario, like what made you to use such a design pattern. So these were the kind of questions that were asked to me in the telephonic discussion. And to be honest, he was very particular about the use of collections framework. He was giving me the scenarios, and he was expecting the answer like what collection class I would use in that scenario. And he was, then there was a continuation question like explain about that entire class, like what are the features of that class. So I have to explain them in detail. So it was around 1 hour discussion, close to 1 hour I will say. Then after completing a telephonic round, he said me like HR will get back to you. And I was very good at the interview. I was to be honest, I was confident that I'll be called for face to face, but there was a long gap. Then again after 3 weeks I got a call from HR, like I have to attend their premises for technical discussion. So I have gone there and I have attended the interview there. So in the upcoming slides I'll be sharing the questions that I have encountered there. So after going to their premises, there was a long wait. After that I was called for the interview. So these are the interview questions that I have encountered there. First question, what is polymorphism? So polymorphism is the ability of an object to take on many forms. The most common use of polymorphism in OOPS concepts occurs when a parent class reference is used to refer to a child class object. So in this way I have handled, even you can handle it in the same way. And I have also shared the answer. You can hold on for a minute and you can go through the answer as well. So the next question is, when abstract methods are used. So when do we use abstract methods, or what is the use of abstracts method? So I have answered this in this way. If you want a class to contain a particular method, but you want that actual implementation of that method to be determined by child class, you can declare that method in the parent class as an abstract class. So this is the only scenario I could say where we use abstract classes. The same I have discussed here in this slide also. You can go through it. Then the question was, what is the difference between overloading and overriding? So method overloading increases the readability of the program. Method overriding provides the specific implementation of the method that is already provided by its superclass. Parameters must be different in case of overloading. Parameters must be same in case of overriding. So these are the few differences that I have answered that. The next question was about the class loaders. Like explain in detail about the class loaders or what are the different class loaders in Java. So there are three class loaders like bootstrap class loader, extension class loader, and application class loader. So coming to their explanation, so bootstrap class loader. This is the first class loader, which is the superclass of extension class loader. It loads the rt.jar file, which contains all the class files of Java standard edition like java.lang packages classes, java.net package classes, java.util package classes, and like core Java classes. Then comes the extension class loader. This is a child class loader of bootstrap and parent class loader of system class loader. It loads the jar files inside Java home jrelib extension directory. Then comes system or application class loader. This is the child class loader of extension class loader. It loads the class files from the class path. So the same I have explained in this slide as well. So you can go through it. Can we execute a program without main method? Of course we can execute a program without main method with the help of static block. Then explain the complete collection hierarchy was the next question. Like he was asking me to draw the entire collection framework, like which class comes under which class and which class is implementing from which class and so on, like that. Then the next question was like, what is the difference between array list and vector? So I have listed out all the differences that strike my mind at that moment. Then there was a question on what is the difference between iterator and list iterator. So I have used this. So basic is iterator you can use with any collection object, and list iterator only works with list. What is the difference between HashMap and HashTable? So the first difference would be HashTable will not allow you any null key, but HashMap will allow you. HashTable is a bit slower as it is synchronized, and HashMap is a bit faster as it is not synchronized. So the next question is how to synchronize list, set, and map. So these are the three methods that you can see, like synchronized list, synchronized set, synchronized map. With the help of these three static methods, we can synchronize the objects, like collection objects. The next question is what is the difference between fail fast and fail safe iterators? So fail fast iterators throws concurrent modification exception when one thread is iterating over the collection object and other thread structurally modify collection either by adding, removing, or modifying objects on the underlying collection. These are called fail fast because they try to immediately throw exception when they encounter failure. On the other hand, like fail safe iterators works on the copy of collection instead of original collection. The next question is what is the difference between the remove method of collection and remove method of iterator? Which one you would use while removing elements during iterator? So I have given the explanation, which I would always prefer to use remove method of iterator. I have also given the explanation. You can go through the explanation if you are not aware of it, like why we should always use the remove method of iterator. The next question is how to make a collection read only or unmodifiable collection list. How can you make it? So you can do it like there is a method called unmodifiable list, unmodifiable set, or map in collections class. So by passing the collection object to it, we can make it a read only or unmodifiable list, set, or map collection. Then the question was what is Spring Boot? So Spring Boot is a Spring module which provides rapid application development feature to Spring framework. It is used to create standalone Spring applications that you can run because of its very little Spring configuration. The next question was on Spring Activator, like what is Spring Activator? So Spring Boot provides Activator to monitor and manage our application. Activator is a tool which has HTTP endpoints. When application is published to production, you can choose to manage and monitor your application using HTTP endpoints. The next question is explain about the REST controller annotation in Spring Boot. So at the rate REST controller is a stereotype annotation. It adds at the rate controller and at the rate response body annotation to the class. We need to import org.springframework.web.bind.annotation package in our file in order to implement it. So the next question is, what is transitively dependency resolution management? So transitively dependency resolution management means if we define an A dependency in build script and A is dependent on B and B is dependent on C, that means A is also dependent on C. Then build tools will download all the three jars A, B, C to our application class path. Then the question was on what are the HTTP methods supported by REST. So get, post, put, delete options head are the different HTTP methods supported by REST. So coming to the usage of it, we use get if we require just for read only access, we go for get, and if you want to submit information, then we'll be using post, and if you want to update the resource at a particular URL, we'll be using put. So if you want to delete it, we'll go with delete, and options, it indicates which techniques are supported, and head about the request URL, it returns the metadata information. So the next question was like, what is the difference between put and post? So first difference is like post is not idempotent method, whereas coming to put, it is idempotent. So I have given all the listed out all the differences between those two. You can go through it by halting a video for a second. Then what are the best practices to be followed while designing a secure web service? So I have listed out few features like validation, session based authentication, no sensitive data in the URL, restriction on method execution, validate malformed XML or JSON through generic error messages. So these are few best practices we can follow while using RESTful web services. So these were the major questions that were asked to me in the technical rounds. So, and there were few generic questions also, like tell me about yourself, explain your project architecture, what are your roles and responsibilities, how much do you rate yourself on the technologies mentioned on your resume, what is the biggest challenge you ever faced, do you interact with your client, few questions on agile and few questions on CI/CD. So please be prepared all these kind of questions if you are attending an interview with Tech Mahindra. So that's it from my end, and if you haven't subscribed our channel, I would request you to please do subscribe and share it to other technical platforms, so that this would be helpful to some other people who are looking out for similar kind of interviews. And if you want to share your interview experience, you are most welcome. You can find our email ID in the description below. You can send out your interview experience or interview questions to that email ID. And thanks for watching the video.